Last problem from the review is you got this big, long polynomial, and you're asked to solve it, and you're given a hint. The hint is one of the roots is 3 plus 4i. Okay, so if we're going to tackle this problem, that's where we want to start. We want to start with the hint. If 3 plus 4i is a root, then so will 3 minus 4i. Okay, so if we treat these as factors, right, here's what we would get. We'd get x minus a 3 plus 4i. There's one of our factors. And then we'd have an x minus a 3 minus 4i. Alright, so there's step one. They told me that 3 plus 4i is a root. I know that 3 minus 4i also has to be a root, which means they are factors. And now what I want to do is I want to distribute these negative signs in here so that what I end up with is an x minus 3 minus 4i, and then I'll get an x minus 3 plus a 4i. And now I'm going to use the associative property to group these x minus 3's together. And the reason I want to do that is I can basically treat these like binomials now, even though they're not. I mean, each expression has 3 terms, but I can treat them like binomials. And if I FOIL, the middle term's going to cancel out, right? All I have to do is multiply the front, x minus 3 times x minus 3, and then multiply the last, minus 4i times 4i. I don't have to worry about the outer and the inner. They're going to cancel each other out. So if I do that, I'll get x minus 3 squared, right? And then I've got minus 4i times 4i, which is a minus 16i squared. And I have to be careful with that, right? Because that's actually going to change into a plus 16. So if I expand this now, x minus 3 squared, I'd get x minus 6x plus 9 plus 16. So now I'm at x minus 6x plus 25. Sorry, x squared. I left off my squared. Sorry about that. It would be x squared. All right. Sorry for the confusion. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide this ungodly expression by x minus 6x plus 25. Okay, so I'll put that on the outside here. X squared minus 6x plus 25. I'm going to divide that into the whole thing here. So I got x to the 5th minus 12x to the 4th plus 54x cubed minus 108x squared minus a 175x. And I guess I'll just go ahead and put a placeholder for the constant right there. We'll see if I need that or not. Okay, now we're doing long division. So remember, I just look at the term out in front and the first term here, and I divide them, and I'd get an x cubed. Okay, so there we go. There's an x cubed. Now I multiply that x cubed by every term in the divisor there. So x cubed times x squared, that's going to give my x to the 5th. And then I'll get a minus 6x to the 4th. And then what will I get? Looks like a 25x cubed. Okay. So I'm going to subtract those now, and let's see what I'd be left with. This would be a minus 6x to the 4th. And then 54 minus 25, I think that's 29. I'm going to check on my calculator really quick. 54 minus 25. Yeah, that's 29. That's 29 x cubed. And then I'll go ahead and bring down this minus 108x squared. I'm going to need my calculator again, I think. But Right now, again, we're just looking at the term out in front, minus 6x to the fourth. We're going to divide it by x squared. So that's going to give us a minus 6x squared. And now we go ahead and do our multiplying again. So I'm going to do minus 6x to the fourth there. I'm going to get a plus 36, looks like, x cubed. And then, what's that going to be? That's going to be like a minus 150, right? Minus 150 x squared. Okay. So we're going to do our subtraction again. These guys undo each other. I got a 29 minus a 36x cubed, so that's going to land me with a minus 7x cubed. And then I've got negative 108 minus a negative 150, so that's going to give me a 42x squared. And now we'll bring down the minus 175x right there. And hope for the best. Okay. So negative 7x cubed divided by x squared, so that's going to give me a minus 7x, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Negative 7x times x squared is minus 7x cubed. Minus 7x times minus 6x is 42x squared. I like where this is going. Then I got a minus 7x times 25, and I do think that that is a minus 175x. And so I get no remainder. All right, now that was a lot of work. Oh, sorry, I've gone off screen there. That was a lot of work. And we're getting close now to the end of this problem. I've got this expression left over. It's x cubed minus 6x squared minus 7x. I can factor an x out of that, right? I can just pull an x out, and I'll get x squared. What is that? Minus 6x minus 7. And now I can factor that part right there. So that would be, let's see, x minus 7 times x plus 1. And now I can see what my other roots are. Now remember, I knew from the beginning, I knew that 3 plus or minus 4i are going to be roots. I found that out because they gave me that hint that 3 plus 4i is a root, so I know 3 minus 4i is a root. So that's where those guys come from. And now I can see what the other zeros are going to be. It's going to be a 0, a 7, and a minus 1.